Launched in September, the One Roar Fund will serve as a vehicle to help all 31 of Columbia's varsity athletics programs and club sports to compete at the highest level. We remain committed to providing our student athletes with the best resources available to help them achieve their goals. Although competition has been postponed, the competitive fire within our student athletes still burns as they await the call to return to athletic events. One Roar will provide our 700-plus student athletes with the necessary resources to stay in prime shape, mentally sharp, and above all, healthy and safe, as we await the continuation of Ivy League play. Together, we roar as one.
Welcome back to our Conversations with the Coaches Spring Series. We're joined again with Mark Fabish. He's our offensive coordinator and coaches our tight ends. Coach, thanks for being here tonight.
Greg, great to see you. Great to be back on with you.
No, I know we talked to you last fall about the offense and how, some things you think about calling plays, but today we're just focused on the tight end position.
Awesome.
So kicking it off, everybody wants to know, all of our alums always ask, what we're looking for in recruits. So what are you looking for in a tight end when you're recruiting tight ends?
Sure. Yeah. There's no cookie cutter answer to that question because as soon as we tell you a height, someone might be an inch below that, but can run fast, can block his butt off, and can make a difference, in some facet of the game. And so, like I said, we want someone to hit measurables in terms of height, weight, speed, but more than anything else, we're looking for a willingness to compete. We're looking for guys that have a passion for the game, and we're looking outside the box. A lot of the times, it's funny, the incoming guys that are part of this class, the class of 21, there's 3 in the group, and all are very different and all had very, very different paths to getting to the point where we offered and they said yes. And to a man, we couldn't be more excited about what they're bringing to the table, but it's all something different. And ultimately it's on us as coaches to figure out what they're best at and to tap into those skills and hopefully highlight them. We look for a willingness to block, an ability to catch. I want to see them stay on their feet and not end up on the ground every play. Would love to see guys score touchdowns, because if you can score touchdowns in high school, you got a shot of scoring touchdowns in college. If you don't score in high school, it's tough to score in college, and that really is all positions, but does hold true for the tight ends. And we're looking for bigger wide receivers. We might look for option quarterbacks that are big. We're looking for football players, man. I mean, that's the bottom line of all of it. And long-winded to answer your question, we're looking for football players, that aren't short, that aren't skinny, but love the game and are willing to do the dirty work.
It's the tight end position can be an unsung hero in a lot of different plays. So.
No doubt. I mean, and it's an awesome thing to work with the guys that we have here right now, Greg. I mean, I love every opportunity that we have to get together with them, even on Zoom, and just to hear them talk about exactly what you just said. They're embracing of that unsung hero role. And that's something that spoils me as a coach, that we're not constantly massaging temples or anything like that. It's just, hey, coach, what do you got for us? And how can we help our offense be in the best position to be successful?
So, you're recruiting guys that can catch and guys that can block, and obviously they're part of the run and the pass game in the offense. What are some of your favorite drills, or what are some drills that you do every week to get them ready and prepared for game day?
Well, I mean, you mentioned it, our involvement in all facets of the offense. And so we usually start off practice before the whistle blows. Our guys come out as a group and we hit it running before we're on the clock with just ball drills, just, trying to steal a couple of minutes of them catching in and out of different break points so that they are moving, all right, and getting ready for the start of practice, but also just working on catching the football. Coming out of stretch, because our guys are usually involved in special teams, so we go specialist and then we get into stretch. And then coming out of that, we're going to hit it with run game stuff, some blocking, technique and fundamentals. And we will, most practices, cross over with the offensive line and get into some work so that we are communicating the same way, so that we are working the same techniques that the offensive line is working. And so we'll partner up with them. And if Coach Larson and the quarterbacks do have small windows of time, we'll sneak back over with them and get back into some ball drills. But a lot of it is working from pass game, run game, and then stealing time with route running and ball drills with the quarterbacks later on in practice. The tight ends here at Columbia are normally a big part of special teams. And whether it's on the unit that's being focused with Coach Stovall or on the scout team, we try and get involved. And again, it comes back to being that unsung role of just running down on kicks, things like that. So, we'll try and steal time wherever we can and focus on all different aspects of our job description.
Awesome. I know you've coached a few different positions while you've been here and in your career, but what is something that you love about coaching the tight end position?
I think there's the multifaceted component of their job description, of being involved in every play. We have to have next to the quarterbacks as good a knowledge of the offense as anybody. And that, as a coach, challenges us to make sure that we are preparing them as best as possible. Their ability to have an impact every snap is huge. And 100% of our snaps a year ago had tight ends on the field for us, which, is something that we have to prepare them for 100% of the snaps. Whether that's on the goal line or in a 2-minute drill, the tight ends are going to be a part of it. And that's something that, like I said, next to the quarterbacks, we feel like their knowledge of the offense needs to be as comprehensive. And so that in and itself, is the challenge of that excites me and gets me going every day.
So back in the fall, I asked, what are some things that surprised you about Columbia, New York? And you mentioned our facilities and campus and our alumni. You have anything else, or you want to elaborate on any of those?
Well, I think, I know that when you spoke with Coach McLaughlin a couple of weeks ago, he touched on it, but just to reinforce the accessibility that New York City provides our kids to opportunities and to people. Obviously there are opportunities in the summer for our guys that they're able to build resumes while they're preparing for the fall, right? But also just during the regular academic calendar year, the accessibility that they have to shadow alums, to grab a bite to eat with a mentor, the Shadow Alliance program, all of the things that they have access to that, you take for granted. We talk about networks. Every place that I've ever been, you talk about a network, but rarely is it as tangible as it is here at Columbia. And on top of the facilities and the commitment and all that, just how accessible people are, how accessible guys have, or how accessible opportunities are for them, I think really stands out.
Yeah, it's a very unique place. It's a great place.
For sure.
So we asked you last time your favorite place to eat.
Yeah.
You had Jeffrey's Grocery. You love going to the West Village. There's a bunch of great places down there. New York is known for their pizza.
Yeah.
It's a pizza city. So I got to ask, what's your favorite place to grab a slice in New York?
You know what? Like when it comes to pizza, I'm a big slice guy. Like I'm with you. And I love that that's how you asked it, because I think one of the best parts about New York is, again, exploring and sticking your head in somewhere and just grabbing a slice and then continuing to explore, and burn the calories off while you're enjoying it. But I will say this: if you ever get a chance, and I know that you've spent some time on campus yourself, and just a stone's throw from campus, it's hard to argue with the slice at Cornett. I mean, the thing is the size of a taxi cab, for a New York reference. But there's something in the water here in New York that makes it special. They don't overdo it. Sauce, cheese, get a plain slice. I don't mind throwing a little crushed red pepper on there just for a little extra zing. But the slice at Cornett is an experience. It's delicious, but also it's an experience. I like getting a Stewart's root beer to go alongside of it and make it extra enjoyable. So yeah, grab a slice of Cornett.
The first time I had cornets, I couldn't figure out how to eat it. It was so good.
Yeah, that's it. You get 3 plates,
yeah,
one slice. 3 plates for one slice. It's something else.
Going back to the tight ends, what are some of your favorite tight end memories?
Oh man, I think Rory Schlageter, who was a sophomore at the time against Penn. The score, we're in the fourth quarter. We had that comeback, and we'd been down 21-7, came back, scored a couple of touchdowns to make it 21-21 in the fourth. And then Rory, who hadn't caught a ball yet in his career, made a great catch on their sideline. There was a flag. We didn't know if it was offensive pass interference, defensive pass, and sure enough, he came up with it in the end zone to put us ahead. Penn ultimately answered, and then we won in overtime. But without that catch on a key third down, we would have been kicking a field goal there if that catch wasn't made. And it just, it was Rory at that time wasn't, one of our go-to weapons on offense that he became. Was a first-team All-Ivy player by the time he graduated, but as a sophomore, was a blocker and a tough guy for us. And so him making that catch was huge, and it allowed us to win the game, because if we kick that field goal, Penn answers, we don't go to overtime, Penn wins. And so that was huge. And then his overtime catch this past year, 3rd and 12 against Harvard. Very similar play to the one that same part of the field that he had the touchdown against Penn 2 years prior, but we needed a play and we went to Rory, and it was huge. Rory this year was awesome. This year, it was 2 years ago, 2019. But Rory was huge, and being named first team All-Ivy, and so he had a lot of big plays with and without the ball. But that one in a key situation against Harvard in overtime was a big part of us being able to pull that win out, against a team that we hadn't had a tremendous amount of success over the years against. And so those two in our short time here working with the tight ends stand out. But I think it's the day-to-day. It's the blue collar work ethic that they bring. Their consistency in showing up and just doing what they're asked that, probably outweigh the individual moments. It's just their approach to things that really make it special.
Doing their 111th.
That's it. You got it. You got it, Greg.
No, we asked you in the fall, do you have any special hobbies or talents? I think, you're in the middle of playing teacher and
Yeah.
you like to explore in the city, but do you have any more you want to share with our fans or alums?
Well, I'm not very talented, Greg. And so they're few and far between other than coaching football and getting to do this. But I do think I have a unique talent for random trivia. I'm a big baseball fan. And so I think one of the things that I can do that might be a little unique is I can name every World Series opponent, two teams that played in the World Series from probably 1980 till today. So whatever that is, the last 40 World Series, if you throw one out, I can try, but I don't want you to put me on the spot and get it wrong. But I can, that's one talent. I'm pretty good name that tune guy. They just came out with a new show and my wife and I are sitting watching and, everyone, boom, I get it. She looks over at me, like, how do you know that that's, Kokomo by the Beach Boys? So, that's
that
baseball trivia, name that tune.
That's those are impressive talents.
Smells like Teen Spirit. I know it. Well, two notes or less.
I'm gonna test you on this World Series knowledge.
Oh man, are you pulling one up right there?
I'm pulling one out.
Oh, shoot.
1986.
Oh, stop. I was at game 6 of the 1986 World Series. Bill Buckner, Red Sox versus the Mets. We had season tickets to the Mets. We got to go to game 2 and game 6. They flashed on the scoreboard. Congratulations, Red Sox. Couple pitches later, ball gets through Buckner. Holy cow. I've never felt the stadium shake, Greg, like I did in 1986. Shea Stadium was rocking. That was a layup. Thank you.
I had no idea that you had gone to the game. I just knew you'd know because it was a Mets World Series. So
no doubt. Let's go Mets.
That's all I got, Coach Fab. I appreciate you sitting down again, talking about the tight ends. So I'll let you close it out. Whatever you got to say to the fans or alumni, the floor is yours.
No, I appreciate it, Greg. It's fun to have the opportunity to just talk football, and we'll be back. We'll be back sooner rather than later, and every day that passes is a day that we're closer to getting back to being who we are, and that's Columbia football coaches and Columbia football players, and our alums will get back to being supportive and get a chance to come out and watch a team that hopefully we can make them proud to support. And so I can't wait for tomorrow because that means we're one day closer to it. And we're going to put in the effort to be as ready as we possibly can be. I look forward to it. I can't wait to see our guys again and put in that work.
Now that we've heard from Coach Fabish, we're sitting down with senior tight end Casey Mariucci. Casey, thanks for joining the alums tonight.
Of course. How you guys doing?
So we all want to know, what is it like to play for Coach Fabish? What's he like in the meeting room? We know he's the offensive coordinator. What is he like on the practice field for the tight end group? And what's he like on game day?
Yeah, so, I've spent thousands of hours with Coach Fab, and his emotions are definitely like a roller coaster. And I think most of the tight ends come in kind of pretty like you're straight out of high school. So, you're a freshman, you're pretty like immature. There's a lot of growing you have to do. And I think from day one, Fab starts on his process of kind of developing you into that football player and that man that you're going to become by senior year. So I guess like practice, he can be super intense. And then in the meeting rooms, he can be super intense, but you see that criticism is in the end kind of comes together because it's going to ultimately help you. It's ultimately going to help the kids turn into better football players. So.
And, I know Coach Fabish is up in the booth calling plays on game day, but any insight into what he's like on game days?
You just want to tread lightly. as with all the coaches, they can be kind of on edge, but he's locked in, and I can tell you that. And that's kind of the most important part, because he helps us lock in. He makes sure that we're not messing around and getting in that good mindset for game day, and that's the most important part. And that's something that the players have learned from the coaches, how the leaders of our team can kind of set the team straight on game day, make sure no one's messing around, because the whole team has to be locked in. Otherwise, all the pieces aren't going to get put in the right place.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you sitting down, and we'll hope to see you soon, man.
Of course. You too.
Next week on Conversations with the Staff, we'll sit down with quarterbacks coach Ryan Larson.